This is Shop Talk. My name is Jay.
I'm Jess.
And with us today,
Susan Taranella from MRC Industries.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about MRC Industries. This is a story. There's a lot going. People see like the end result of a really cool process.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that, Susan.
Okay. So the thing that everybody's actually seeing in downtown Kalamazoo is MRC Artworks. And Artworks is a small part of something a lot larger. And I think that's something that most people that walk through the doors, even if they've been coming to MRC Artworks for a long time, might not fully understand that it is something smaller of something much larger.
Sure.
So MRC Industries as a whole is a nonprofit that provides support and encouragement for individuals with disabilities. Those can be a developmental disability, mental illness, an intellectual developmental disability. We support youth and adults, and we do that through providing job skill training, job placement services, case management, and community living supports. So there's a lot of different components in what we do, but I always say that the most visual and probably the part that people are the most drawn to is artworks, and so it's a great kind of face for our organization.
It becomes a really interesting piece because it's like most of the stuff that you just said, I'm going to put a bet. I'm going to roll dice and say 90% of people have no clue.
Correct. And you are absolutely correct. So I think that the basis of it is just creating opportunities, creating equitability, that's better, in the community. And honestly, just a sense of belonging and uplifting not just these individuals in our community, but we're all better as a community when we have that inclusion and when we have support systems in place for individuals that need a lift up and a hand to help them. It's not about giving them a hand out. It's about showing them what they can accomplish is how I like to look at it. We're just showing them what they already know how to do and what they have inside them. And maybe they just haven't had an opportunity before, or maybe there just hasn't been that person in their life who had the right tools to show them what they could do. And so I like to look at us as a place where we can really open doors for individuals. It gives them skill set to be able to go out in the community and get a job that allows them to earn a living and have a sense of belonging. I mean, I think that's what we all want in life, is to have a place where we can feel safe and accepted, and we help and give tools to allow people to achieve that.
To be included, right?
Absolutely.
Just to be included. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Artworks is that it is showing that, we talk about it a lot, that everyone is welcome downtown, right? This is showing that.
I think it's interesting too, because it's like, you can put together the safe space. You can do and do those things. But it always takes a mentor. It always takes somebody, you know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody to be able to teach. Mm-hmm. And that's the other piece to this that becomes, I think, fascinating for me. It's like, okay, it's that ability to say, okay, someone who has, very little knowledge about art and all the rest. It's like you're teaching them how to create. It's absolutely. It's kind of really powerful if you really sit it down and go.
Yeah, it is. And first of all, I know absolutely nothing about art.
Me either. I walk in that place, I'm like, this is awesome.
100% not. My involvement in this is from a very high scale, working having the lovely space to be able to be part of our leadership team at MRC, and our art instructors and our retail staff are the ones that are really inspiring these artists to create beautiful pieces of art and teach them different modes of art and different ways of expressing themselves. But then the really important part is then being able to turn that into a way that they can earn a living. And It's not all about money. That's not really what it is, but it is kind of an entrepreneurial spirit, having them, they love to talk to people when they come in. If you walk in the doors, like, first of all, it's my favorite space where I work. This is not blowing smoke. It truly is amazing to walk in those doors. And, we have 90 artists. They're obviously not all there every day. But to walk through those doors and they greet you and they know who you are. And it's just such a lovely feeling. And they cannot wait to show you what they'll sell it. They sell it. They're like,
you're absolutely right.
They're like, look what I made for you. And they've never met you. It's amazing. And then how do you walk away from that? Like,
really
oh,
hard.
you're right.
Yeah.
You made that for me. Now it's going to hang on my wall for sure.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I know. And there was an expansion. So it's like, okay, let's go backwards. It's like, all right, so it was one store. It's been there for, as long as I can remember. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been there for a long time.
So we've actually been part of the downtown community, not necessarily in the space that we're in, but since the early 2000s.
That's what I thought.
We were in the Park Trades building, and we shared some space, and then we got our own space in that building, and then had the opportunity to move into the location that we are now, and part of the Peregrine family, and as tenants of theirs. And then last summer, I think it was, time flies, we expanded into, I guess it was before last summer. We took over a second space in May of 22 is exactly when it was. And then we did some construction and knocked down
the
wall.
wall.
Yep. Knocked down that wall.
Yep.
Bring it down. And made it a truly inclusive space of having the studio side where our artists gather every day and create artwork, and then the retail side or the gallery side where we're actually selling all of those things. Yeah. So it's been a great expansion. Peregrine has been really supportive in, as a team and helping us and supporting that with us. And it's been really fantastic. Our sales have increased. I mean, downtown is still hard sometimes, but as a whole, we have definitely, it's been positive for our artists. They're all generating more income and generating more art. I think it's a more inspiring space as well.
It's beautiful. And you talked about one side is for the artists, and it's great. When I walk down the street, you can see everybody in there working and creating and chatting with each other. But the other side, too, is so eclectic.
Yeah.
This isn't just paintings, or this isn't just like one thing. It is such an eclectic, beautiful space of art. Like, talk about the different types of things that people will see.
Yeah, so we have, obviously, paintings. That's the large bulk of a lot of what we do is actual paintings, or what the artists, not we, what our artists create. But we also they do a lot of sewing. So we have, some tote bags with hand-stitched designs on them. There's some crocheted things. There's jewelry. We have a ton of jewelry. A lot of beaded items. We have earrings and necklaces and all of that. We also have another component, which isn't actually in those four walls. It is called Woodworks, which is an extension of Artworks. And we have an actual woodworking studio in our administration building on 26th Street.
Something else I didn't know.
Yeah. So it's a newer part of our programming. And we've got folks that are learning basics of working with wood, and they're making things like charcuterie boards. So we've also brought in some ancillary items to sell along with those to create some beautiful like gift baskets or things that you purchase a charcuterie board, and then there's little bottles of olive oil and seasonings with a little bowl, and it just makes like a great little, here's something handmade, and then this is something to go along with it. And frames. We have really cute little wood holiday trees that some of them you can put like the ornaments on them. So it's almost like an advent,
neat.
It has like every day you put a new ornament on. And then sometimes we'll have a collaboration where the woodworking artist will create something, and then one of the artists at Artworks will paint it, so it's a nice little collaboration of a couple different people. So that's always fun as well.
The store ends up being one of those places, and I don't know, maybe you feel the same way, Jess. It's like, you always have that one or two people on your list that you never quite know what to get them.
Yes.
That's the starting point. I started MRC because it's like I will always find something, and it's like that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how it works, but it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's the perfect thing. Who
Yeah.
knew?
Right. Yeah.
Who knew?
Absolutely. So my brother was recently in town. He lives in Tucson, Arizona. And although this might start out as a somewhat sad story, it's actually really beautiful. He had a child, my nephew, who passed away from a heart condition at 22 months of age. Wow. So we started a lovely fund in his honor for heart transplant research.
Okay.
And they do every year they do a fundraiser for this transplant research fund in Giovanni's honor. So my brother was here a couple weeks before that was happening and saw this piece of art that one of our artists, Megan, made. And I have permission to talk about her. We do have to be somewhat respectful of, people that don't necessarily want their names.
Sure.
It's privacy.
Yeah.
It's healthcare at the end of the day, what
Right.
we do.
Photos.
So,
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So Megan, my brother purchased one of Megan's pieces of art specifically to sell in this auction to raise money for my nephew's transplant research fund. And it ended up going for like 3 times what she normally would have sold a piece of art for. And she was thrilled.
That.
But it was just really lovely. Like my brother walked in and first of all, he was like, I guess I didn't really know what you did for a living. So that part was amazing.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow. So anyways, he saw this piece of art and he took a picture of it and sent it to his wife who wasn't there. And she was like, yes, buy it. Let's do it. We did a little bio about Megan. And so now this art is living somewhere else is the point, and to your point of walking in somewhere
Yeah.
and seeing something that it just struck a chord. And I do feel like that is how it works sometimes, that you just walk in and it's like it speaks to you and it says somebody's name. And I love that.
Absolutely. It's like you're changing people's lives. It's really, again, you don't think of it. You walk around the mall. And it's like, okay, you really don't
Yeah.
think of it in the broad picture, but it's like this is one of those places where it's like you are changing people's lives. Period.
Yeah, it is. I say this a lot. As being in charge of marketing and development for the organization, have a lot of opportunities like this to talk about what I do and what we do and share our mission. And one of the things that I always find myself saying is, I took this job thinking this is a great stepping stone in my career and I'm going to leave this like lasting impact on this organization. I'm going to raise all this money and like walk away from it. And people are going to be like, wow, she was really impactful. And I do hope that I do that. But what I did find very, very quickly is really this is not about me at all. And this is truly, truly about the people that we serve. And I genuinely feel that they're leaving footprints on my heart and I'm actually not leaving any kind of imprint on their lives, like as an individual person.
Right.
I was going to ask. It's like, okay, so they're giving you more than you ever
Yes.
thought that it was
No,
possible.
I genuinely, I've been an advocate for a lot of different groups of people in my life. It's how I've raised my children. It's how I move through space and time is advocating for other people. But there is a huge group of people that I wasn't advocating for, and that's these individuals. Mental illness is a huge crisis in our country, and that is actually the largest population that we serve. And there just really is this void of acceptance, and it's a little bit sad that, I think that, if we can shine some light in a tiny way with this store and allow people to walk in and maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable at first because they're not sure what they're walking into.
Right.
But as soon as you tell people what we do, you can see their demeanor change. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really what we're doing. I think that's really, it's breaking down barriers and giving opportunity for knowledge and inclusion and love and acceptance. It really is.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
such an awesome mission. It really is. You're on the mall. I mean, you could have that store anywhere.
Yeah.
Why do you stay right there downtown in the mall?
We talk about that in our business has grown a lot over the last couple of years, not just Artworks, but our entire organization. And we've added some new programming and, really ideally our admin building is not in a great space. It's off the beaten path. And so we really need to refocus and figure out what our next steps are for our organization. But what we always say is that where we need to be is downtown. The center of where we need to be is downtown. It's important. It's where our clients are. It is where it's accessible for people. And there's just a vibrancy downtown. Say what you will. It is truly a unique space. Yep. And where else will you find in such a small area, such an eclectic and varying, variety of restaurants and shops and people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
People.
Definitely the people.
Yeah.
And we love that you are a part of that.
Yeah.
Having that down there, that adds such another level of diversity and just beauty downtown. My favorite things are in the summertime when you're walking down the mall and they have the paintings that are out drying.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of the people are outside, placing them outside, and they're just hanging out, and it's just really joyful.
Yeah, it
right?
really is. They take their breaks. I mean, this is like their work day.
Sure.
They come in, they are creating art, they get a break, they get a lunch, they get another break, and they're sitting outside just like you would. You want to get out of the office, you've been in the building all day, and you want to go sit outside. They'll walk down to Rocket Fizz and get their snack.
Yeah.
They, go down to Taco Bob's and get their tacos.
Kind of jealous, to be honest with you.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's my favorite space to be.
Yeah.
It truly is. It really is a great space. And, but to your point, Jay, downtown is just a special place. And I really don't see us being anywhere else. We have talked about it. We're like, would it be better if we were like in a strip mall? And we're like, no, there's no character there. There's no, and it's not knocking any business that is in those places. That's not what it's about. There just really is truly something special about downtown. And that's the reason why we have remained steadfast in being there. And, hopefully we will find our entire organization in that vicinity within the next few years. That's really our goal.
Oh,
Susan, that's awesome. That's a great goal.
That's truly our goal.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. This is just really awesome to have.
It is.
Sure, that's
You're
great.
in a rush.
Yeah.
She's got a
No,
thought.
she was dumbfounded.
She's got
I
a
know.
thought.
You caught her.
No, she said that, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that'd be really cool." Wait, the woodworking.
Yeah, I know.
portion.
Yeah, I know. Tell me, that would be awesome,
That
wouldn't
would be
it?
so cool.
Yeah. I don't know
I'd never
exactly
get
what that
anything
looks like.
done.
No. But
I do have to admit, when I'm in artworks, I'm not exactly productive.
well, again.
It's hard to not buy things.
Oh, it is. 100%. Trust me.
We talk about it all the time, especially like the amazing art instructors that are like working with the individuals every single day. And you start establish these relationships, and you develop a relationship with everyone, and then you just want to support them, and it's like you can't buy everything. You can't.
You can try. I mean, you really can try. I'm gonna give you. You can try.
Yeah. But I want to not forget to mention, although we want everyone to come downtown, we do have a website, mrcartworks.org, where we are selling artwork online. So if you are a visitor that is coming into town and you don't live here and you fall in love with artworks like everybody does, we cannot possibly have all of the artwork online. There's just way too much. Sure. But Bridget, our retail supervisor, does an amazing job at curating some really, really amazing pieces to have online that really show the great variety that we have. So for sure, check that out if you can't get downtown.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's really cool. I love this story. This is just a great story.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about. That's for sure.
It is. It's like talking about the stuff that's going on in downtown Kalamazoo. It's like, okay, which one do we want to talk about? It's like there's so many. I know. So again, there are some events coming up, and we do want to hit those. So let's hit those a little bit.
There
Jess.
sure are. So Maple Hill Holiday Parade, the 23rd.
Unreal.
So excited about this.
Way fun.
So excited. 11 o'clock. Make sure to get down there early.
Yeah.
Get your parking spot. Find your area, and
It's
then
a sunny day. Sit in the sun.
Yes.
My best advice. Sit in the sun.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Always.
Find the sunny side of the street.
Yep, exactly.
So we're really looking forward to that. And then afterwards, stick around. There's so much going on, 12 to 5 on the Kalamazoo Mall. All the after parade activities. There's music, there's fun, there's shopping, there's deals, all of that. The 29th is our tree lighting at Bronson Park.
Another tradition.
Yep, 5 to 7. So make sure to come on down for that. Holly Jolly Trolley kicks off, so you can hop on and off and check out all of the things. And then the 30th is our Shop Small Saturday.
Nice. Yep.
When should we be shopping small?
Always.
Always,
Yep.
but definitely come out on the 30th. And that's also when Santa's Workshop kicks off. Moving into December 6th is our final First Friday Art Hop of the year.
2024. Guys.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Isn't that
happening?
crazy?
No, how is that possible?
Yes. And then we have Moonlight Madness, the 13th. Such a fun time. This is 6 to 11-ish. Road is closed down on the mall. Bike ride with everybody lit up with holiday lights. We're going to have Gazelle is going to be out, move through the lights, a walk run, and everyone is dressed up. Tutus and crazy sweaters, and you'll see the Grinch and just all kinds of stuff. And then we've got a DJ out. All the stores are going to be open late. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And then the 14th, the next day, Dad's in the zoo. So that's a great time to come on out.
Yep.
There's just a ton of stuff to do. Come down, go to MRC, find all of those unique things, and check out all of the other shops and grab something to eat. Just enjoy downtown Kalamazoo.
Absolutely. So if somebody wants more information, where would they go as far as all the events going on?
Yes, so we're on all the socials, Downtown Kalamazoo Shops on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can also go to our website, downtownkalamozooshops.com.
All right, cool. Jess, thank you. Susan, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.
This is great.
This is Shop Talk.